Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin gets so much hate? Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin is missing one thing: public support. But why? These days, it feels as though billionaire-backed space companies are launching off Earth all the time. So why does Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin seem to be in the hot seat? Despite a summer of success, recent competition and some controversial tweets, including some misleading infographics, have left many who follow the space industry feeling less than supportive of Jeff Bezos and his space company. Over the past few months, commercial spaceflight has launched into overdrive as companies like Axiom plan crew missions to the International Space Station. SpaceX won NASA's HLS contract to build a moon lander, and Blue Origin and Virgin Galactic successfully completed crew suborbital flights with the company's respective billionaire founders on board. Since Bezos founded the company in 2000, Blue Origin and its hardworking engineers and employees have been making progress with the company's many space technologies, including its new Shepard vehicle that lofted a crew of 4 passengers to space and back this July, and its upcoming New Glenn orbital vehicle. Blue Origin's latest launch, which carried Bezos along with his brother Mark, 18-year-old Dutch student Oliver Damon, and pioneering aviator Wally Funk, to and fro suborbital space aboard New Shepard. It was its first trip to space with passengers, a milestone that signified a step toward a future with regular launches of crews of paying customers, including space tourists. But this milestone, which put Blue Origin into the spotlight, also seems to have been a turning point for how the public views Bezos' company. The July flight certainly didn't mark the first time that Blue Origin got major media attention, but the fact that it was a crewed launch, with a crew that included Bezos himself, and its temporal proximity to Virgin Galactic's crewed suborbital launch with its founder Richard Branson just over a week beforehand, shone a brighter light on the company. All the wrong attention. There is also a fair amount of backlash to the flights, and the industry more broadly, about the enormous cost of these flights. Christian Davenport, author of The Space Barons and space reporter for The Washington Post, told Space.com, while these entrepreneurs are starting to take private citizens to space, the passengers so far have been, by and large, extremely wealthy. That's raised questions about who ultimately is benefiting. Leading up to these suborbital flights and afterward, the public discourse on social media and even in traditional media and broadcast news networks have leaned heavily into discussing whether it is positive progress to see billionaires ride to space in the rockets their companies have built. Though fellow billionaire Branson also took a suborbital trip courtesy of his own company in recent months, a lot of the negative discourse circles around just Bezos. Aside from their space ventures, Bezos and other billionaire founders like Branson and SpaceX's Elon Musk have storied careers and histories that have garnered a wide variety of public opinions. However, recently, ongoing behavior by Bezos and competitive infographics put out by Blue Origin have prompted criticism of the company. Sketchy infographics. Ahead of Blue Origin's crewed suborbital flight, the company published the first of several infographics that could be labeled competitive in the most polite of terms. This first infographic, which Blue Origin tweeted July 9th, displayed a side-by-side comparison showing the differences between Virgin Galactic's suborbital ride called Spaceship Two and Blue Origin's New Shepard. The infographic was posted just 2 days before Virgin Galactic's crewed suborbital flight on July 11th. Among the many attributes Blue Origin listed in the infographic, it specifically pointed to the fact that Blue Origin's flight would reach above the Kármán line, an internationally recognized boundary of space 62 miles above Earth, while Virgin Galactic's flight would only reach above 50 miles or 80 kilometers, an altitude that merits astronaut wings by US government agencies. This infographic was followed by additional infographics that have poked at other space companies. For example, the latest one, which the company published on its website, called SpaceX's Starship, Deep Space Vehicle, immensely complex and high risk. HLS Tug of War. The infographic depicting SpaceX's Starship points to another major point of contention sparked by Bezos and his company. In April, NASA named SpaceX the sole winner of its Human Landing System (HLS) contract that will see the company build NASA's next moon lander, which will bring astronauts to the lunar surface as part of the agency's Artemis program. SpaceX, which will use Starship for the job, beat out Dynetics and the Blue Origin-led national team for the contract. NASA had previously stated that it would like to award more than one HLS contract so the Artemis program could benefit from competition and redundancy. But that wasn't a viable option, given the relatively low levels of funding Congress has allocated for the HLS work, agency officials said in the wake of the contract announcement. Instead of accepting NASA's decision, Blue Origin and Dynetics both filed protests with the U.S. Government Accountability Office. And in July, Bezos penned an open letter to NASA Administrator Bill Nelson stating why Blue Origin should have won an HLS contract and suggesting that the selection wasn't conducted properly. In addition to the growing discourse over social media, publications including Popular Science are beginning to document this criticism, and the HLS saga has continued, with Blue Origin most recently deciding to file a lawsuit in the Court of Federal Claims against NASA over the selection according to a Space.com. This lawsuit has actually halted work on the Artemis moon lander, with NASA volunteering to temporarily pause its HLS work with SpaceX because of the lawsuit, a NASA representative told Space News. And amidst all of the trouble with the HLS contract, a Blue Origin engineer, Nitin Arora, who formerly worked for NASA, actually jumped ship to join SpaceX, he announced on LinkedIn. The cherry on top, while Blue Origin as a company has fielded quite a bit of criticism with its infographics and multiple actions taken in response to NASA's HLS selection, the company's founder himself has also been in the crosshairs. In addition to Bezos' public letter, the multiple actions taken by Blue Origin after losing the HLS contract and the company's controversial infographics, Bezos added yet another contentious item to the list on the day of his suborbital flight. After landing back on Earth following the brief mission, Bezos and the rest of the New Shepard crew gathered for a live-stream press conference. During the conference, Bezos, still clad in the large cowboy hat he wore to space, took just 3 questions from reporters before launching into discussing the flight. One post-flight comment from Bezos caught many people's ear. While criticism of billionaire space company founders isn't limited to just Bezos, the main difference between Bezos and others, such as Musk and Branson, Berger said, is that he has largely ignored the public and the media. Musk appears fairly regularly at news conferences or on teleconferences and interacts with people on Twitter all the time. Branson is fairly approachable in that he seems down to earth. Bezos, by contrast, is standoffish, Berger added. He rarely tweets, and his Instagram account is highly curated to reflect a certain image. This is not someone serious about engaging with the space community in a meaningful way, but is engaging with the space community really necessary for a space company to succeed? What do you think about that? Tell us in the comment section below.